So on the first day of Worlds in Philadelphia, I was approached by a gentleman named Anderson who said, "Hey, I've got something for you." And he handed me this as well as a little deck box of cards. And I took this back to the hotel that night and really started going through it. And it became apparently clear that I was going to need way more time to deep dive and really get into this because this thing is really comprehensive and really awesome. So as I traveled over the holidays, I was kind of dove into this while I was on the plane. And what I want to do today is really cover it with you because this is a take on PVE for Flesh and Blood, but really turns Flesh and Blood into like a dungeon crawler type experience. So today, join me as we cover the Rathe Adventures, a PVE experience for Flesh and Blood. A huge shout out to our channel members for supporting what we do here. If you want to get involved with the channel and the Dice Commando community, please consider joining as a channel member. Remember, these videos are only possible with your support. You can show that support with a like, a subscribe, and by leaving us a comment and sharing your feedback. Community first, and go Commando. Hey there, my Flesh and Blood friends. So today, bringing you a special treat. I want to cover with you this beautiful, beautiful book here, which is the Rathe Adventures. Now, you can find more info on this at fabpve.com, fabpve.com. I'll, of course, put a link in the description. But as I mentioned in the intro, the presentation on this is just phenomenal. So I thought it would be great to bring you a unboxing type video of sorts. In fact, we are going to be looking at an actual unboxing of chapter 1, which is the Necromancer, which is included actually in the back of this book. But I wanted to spend some time running through this as an option for your Flesh and Blood PVE experience. I'm really impressed with this, and it takes a very different spin on things as what we've seen before. And what we're really looking at here is almost a mix in a way. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit and find you a map. It's a mix in a way between kind of like a traditional type RPG experience and your Flesh and Blood experience with, of course, your chosen party. So obviously you can see right out of the gate, this book's not messing around. It's a very high quality product. It even has a bookmark, by the way, right? Like that's pretty freaking sweet. I haven't moved it because I just thought it was awesome, but I did have time to look at this on my travels, and I was really impressed with this. So I'm obviously not going to cover the whole book with you, but I do want to. So again, we have kind of the way things work over here, the way to do things. And then on this side, we have a sample adventure, which is Death Rising, which is the card pack that we're going to be looking at. Okay, so first off, we do have art in here. We have several pages of art and descriptions all the way in the back, where we're looking at, well, the story. And let's see if I can find a page. See, here we go. The Skeletal Queen, right? And there's a story with it. Leads up to where your GM, your game person, right? It's like a very RPG, right? You want somebody to lead it for you. So setting the scene, how to do the encounter, and then rules as it goes. Then there's the Necromancer, and it goes on and on. So what you'll see first as you go through this is, so the road here, this is a great story about how Anderson here and his team got started off on this and how it works. And you go through and you have and you even see stuff like this here. So you see dice roll, reward, right? You started off, everything's going to be different as you go through. And then, I mean, this book is your guide into it, right? It gives both the players and the GM their way to go. Walks through how the rules work. You have defense dice and you have your action dice tables, and it's an entire guide. So here you have your action dice down here look how beautiful this whole thing's just incredibly well put together, and you can tell this is a labor of love, both in terms of the thought process behind it, and obviously once you get to the back, which is Death Rising, the sample adventure, which is what we're going to look at from a card standpoint. The whole aura changes because now everything's dark. And you have to crawl the dungeon, so to speak, to get grand antechamber in this case. Which way may you want to go? How may you want to play this, and what it may lead to as your party and yourself makes decisions as you grasp dissent and so on. So I'm very, very, very impressed with, I mean, the presentation of this is out of this world. So what I wanted to do next was go through the Death Rising. This is the pack. You can see it comes in a shrink-wrapped deck box. See Whispers of the Eternal Past. Beneath the ruins of a fallen mage tower, something stirs. The necromancer twists death itself, his failed creations haunting every corridor. Gather your heroes, descend into the depths, and confront the master of the undead before his experiments spill beyond the dungeon's walls. Each step brings glory or damnation. All right, so let's crack this baby open and see what cards await us inside. Come on, baby. There we go. I don't want to break the box. Oh, I bent the box. That sucks. All right. Narrow corridors. Okay. So these are your modifiers. And we've got Amulet of Hope. There's your rooms, your map. And here we've got some baddies. The hulking abomination, mutated flesh, the skeletal queen, right? That's one we saw in the book. And everything you need, skeletal knight, that's cool. I actually like that one. Skeletal warrior, skeletal servant. And we have Adnar of the Eternal Pack. I think this is the big bad guy. He says, yes, the necromancer Adnar twists death itself. There's the big bad final boss. Shards of Aether. Some other cards as well. Contagion, Raise the Dead. Play Blight only if you have knowledge of necromancy. Create 2 skeletal knights. So in this case, obviously someone will be playing, or I should say, not playing is not the right word, but administering the baddies. And you'll use this on your journey to do your fab PVE thing. And this is at least my take on it from having read the instructions. I haven't gone through, obviously, I'm just opening it. I have not gone through the adventure. But my take on it is that it plays as a hybrid of like a D&D type thing, I think is probably not fair to many groups out there, but it definitely has airs and tones of a guided adventure versus a solo board game type thing. So all in all, I just wanted to bring this with you. I remain extremely impressed at the presentation here. So if this is something that you are interested in, it does seem like this is more of a, spend a long Saturday night with your buddies, with your party, right? Maybe you do pull it out with your RPG group and give it a shot. So again, presentation of this is top notch. The love and care that's gone into this is very, very, very clear. So another option out there, if this is something up your alley from Flesh and Blood player versus environment experience. And I was very happy that I could bring it to you. And again, thank you to Anderson for handing this to me, and then the entire team over at Fab PVE, and what you've been able to do with the Rathe Adventures in this case. And thank you for bringing it to the community. And thank you for watching. And of course, my friends, go Commando.